You are, kitty. Come on. Come on, kitty. Come on. Come on. Come on. Hello, this is Mario Farina. Today I'm going to read you a story called Love Letters. And here it is. This story is in smashwords.com. I just published it there a couple of days ago. It's free there for the taking if you want, and you can also read it for free if you wish. While you're at Smashwords, www.smashwords.com, you'll see many other stories you can download for free and read if you want. Love letters. Honey, I have the feeling you want to ask me something, said Marion. Yes, I do, sweetheart, responded her husband. Nothing earth-shaking. Would this be a convenient time? Certainly, hon, she responded. It was a Saturday morning about 7:30. Daniel and Marion Karp were still in bed. They were on their backs, naked under the light blue coverlet, their bodies touching. Daniel had his right arm around her shoulders. Sweetheart, I accidentally came across something that's been bothering me. Several letters. I wasn't snooping. I was just looking for a tie clip. I wasn't hiding them, she said softly. I knew you would see them eventually. There were 14. Darling, you were married before? No. Dan and I were in love and planning to be married. I was looking forward to the day I would be changing my name from Ms. Marion Mason to Mrs. Daniel Pacer. He died before this could happen. Then I met you. This was about 2 years ago. His name was the same as mine? Yes, I'm sure that was not a coincidence. He was a lot like you. I still think about him a lot. To me, he's Dan, and you're Daniel. Dear, you're still in love with him? The simplest answer to that, hon, is yes. I know all this is a jumble to you right now, and you have a lot of questions. Let me tell you a story, and this will answer many of the questions you have. Please do, he said. Dan and I met. We dated and fell deeply in love. He was a wonderful man. If I had searched for 1,000 years, I would not have found a man I could love an iota more. He was in the National Guard, and there was the Iraq War. He was killed in Basra. It had been an IUD. All they found was a single dog tag with burn marks on it. It was sent to me by the War Department. He had been in Iraq only 15 days, and he had sent me a letter every day but one. Today, all I have of him are those letters and a single dog tag. She continued. He died on July 16. It was a Monday. It was the same day I met you for the first time. This date was your first day at the company where I was employed. When Mr. Chandler introduced me to you, he asked if I would show you the ropes. She paused. I remember that, said Daniel. Then you were gone for a long time. I wondered why, but never asked anyone. It wasn't any of my business. Word came that Dan had been killed, and I went to pieces. Then I returned to work. You and I began seeing each other. Our talks during breaks helped me learn how to live again. You told me you had been in Fallujah and had been discharged after you were wounded. Your first name and Dan's were the same. The last letter from him arrived after he had died. That must have been horrible, said Daniel. I could see why you saved it. I saved all his letters, Marion said. While I was grieving, I read them over and over many times. I memorized the contents of each one. The words in them became engraved in my heart. But I stopped reading them when I realized that I must begin living again. You came back to work. Yes, and you and I began to know each other better. Slowly, I began to understand something that had not been clear to me. Dan had sent you to me. Awed, Daniel asked, "Do you mean that literally? Why would you think that?" "Dear, you're so much like him. You're thoughtful and kind. You stand and move like him. You smile like him, even think as he did. There are times when I could swear you are the incarnation of him. But though I loved him more than life itself, I have come to love you even more." "Dear one," said Daniel, "you don't need to tell me more. I understand how you feel about Dan. I never met him in Iraq, but believe, if I had, I would have loved him as much as you do." Suddenly he stopped talking and stared into space. Alarmed, Marion cried out, "Darling, is there anything wrong?" "No, I just thought about something," he responded. "What did you say Dan's last name was?" "Pacer," she said. "Why?" "When you were out of work, I received a plain envelope in the mail at home. There was no return address on it. In it was a single Army dog tag wrapped in tissue paper. It had burn marks on it. It had the name Daniel S. Pacer on it. This has to be the second of the pair of dog tags service people wear as identification. It probably matches the one you have." "Oh, darling," she uttered. "His middle name was Samuel. He did send you to me." This was his way of telling us this. "There's more," Dan suddenly exclaimed. "Look, you were to become Mrs. Daniel Pacer. Instead, you became Mrs. Daniel Carp. The two last names are anagrams of each other. They consist of the same letters." I hope you liked the story. Thanks for looking. Thanks for listening. Tomorrow I'll have another story for you. Bye-bye.